Promote a culture of inclusion, supercharge your communication, and unleash the full potential of your teams and leaders with the Inclusive Handbook collection from the Diversity Movement. As part of the collection, I wrote the Inclusive Leadership Handbook with Kurt Merriweather to empower leaders with tools needed to cultivate a culture that fosters creativity, innovation, and employee engagement. Through strategies, exercises, and self-reflection, leaders at all levels can enhance their effectiveness. Learn more at thediversitymovement.com/store. Use code HOL at checkout for 25% of your first order.
DEI budgets are under attack, but the goals haven't changed. Whether you're looking to increase your DEI knowledge, expand your market reach, or gain a competitive advantage in business, we have the solution. TDM Library is your single source for expert-curated DEI resources, strategies, and solutions, all designed to help you transform your workplace culture and be a more effective contributor. For $9.99 per month, you get access to our searchable subscription-based digital library. There, you'll find articles, practical how-to guidebooks, podcasts, award-winning microvideos, and more than 700 Q&As. Designed to help DEI practitioners, thought leaders, and executives create a more inclusive workplace. Whether you prefer to listen, watch, or read, we have the resources for you. TDM Library goes beyond the basics to dive deep into topics such as inclusive language, the business case for DEI, talent acquisition, and C-suite engagement. For less than the price of a sandwich, you get access to our library of more than 1,000 pieces of original, expert-curated DEI content. Join today and get your first 30 days free. Get your library card now at tdmlibrary.thediversitymovement.com.
You can't stop me, nothing's gonna stand in my way. Nothing. I'm gonna fly higher.
You're listening to the High Octane Leadership Podcast with Donald Thompson. The world is shifting around you. None of us were trained for this changing environment. You need high octane leadership in an empathetic world before your business is swallowed alive. This podcast focuses on actionable, hands-on tools you can use to become a high-octane leader today and grow strong leaders throughout your organization to survive tomorrow. Join me along with global C-suite leaders, rising stars, ambitious entrepreneurs, and other leaders from across industries as we dissect, interrogate, and redefine high-octane leadership in an empathetic world. This podcast is your home for uncovering the tools, lessons, and strategies you need to push your leadership to the next level.
Welcome to this week's episode of High Octane Leadership. This is a real doozy. This week, Don and I are going to talk about some of the stories of what made him who he is today. You see, Don grew up as the son of a Division I football coach. Amidst all that discipline that you would expect, there sprouted a young entrepreneur. They're great stories, and I think you're really going to enjoy them. If you're in your car, keep your hands on the wheel. Don't let go, even as you're chuckling over these stories. If you're like me, sitting in an oversized leather chair right now, pour yourself another drink and enjoy the stories. Don, I have read so much about your dad. I feel like I've met him, even though I haven't met him. But I probably have seen your dad on the sidelines because I grew up in Western PA and was an obsessive Pitt fan and eventually went to Pitt. So in high school, I was watching Pitt while your dad was coaching. I used to play basketball at Dan Marino Park on the south side, so right outside of Oakland. So we have a lot of things in common, and I love the stories about your dad because if you grew up in the 70s and 80s, you knew somebody like your dad. Maybe not at your dad's level, but you knew a coach who was a hard ass. I want to hear about the spanking that you got that you claim to this day you didn't deserve.
The spanking I didn't deserve. Yeah, I still get pissed off talking about this one. My dad was like loving father, present as much as he could be in the type of job. My mom, amazing. I think about together as a team and raising me and my sister, and just how thankful I am to have that family unit intact for that amount of time. But we were in Pittsburgh. We were living in Bethel Park, just the suburbs of Pittsburgh, right? So big new job. Dad's going to live in the suburbs, got a house, grass, all this stuff.
And Pitt's a franchise now.
Yeah.
Pitt's joining the big time.
That's right. Like big time
And
college
your dad's
football.
part of that.
Dan Marino's Heisman Trophy candidate. Just, a big deal, right? In terms of college football. I remember vividly getting a note home on the bus. Every kid on the bus, so 30 kids on this bus, right, were acting bananas. Bus driver was like, you need to sit down. Kids were throwing stuff. They're like, you're not my mom. I don't sit down if I don't want to sit down.
And there's a reason why so many TV shows and movies have the wild bus scene from the 80s. Because that was a real thing.
It was a real thing, right? It was a real thing. So I get home, and this note comes in the mail, and I walk in, and my dad's reading this pink sheet of paper. The reason it's pink is you got to think about this thing. Notes from your teacher of discipline are in triplicate, right? So the pink version is for the parents. The yellow version is for the school. And they kind of pull off that, whatever that paper, that duplicate paper is. So if that dates me, that just dates me. But anyway, I go in and my dad's like, go to your room. And I'm like, yo. And he didn't say hello. How's your day? Like, I'm thinking, why are you home? Right? Like, why don't you try, whatever, right? So I go to my room. He was like, I got this note from the school. And I was like, but Dad. And next thing I know, bow, bow. Bow. Belt is happening. It's snapping, right? It's snapping, right? Like, I'm like, yo, man, I look at him and I'm so mad because I know what the bottom part of the note says that he didn't even read. I would not cry. Like, I was so pissed off, I would not cry. The reason this whooping was unjustified is at the bottom of the note, it said very clearly that every child on the bus got a note to ensure proper behavior on the bus. No individual child is singled out, but the bus as a group needs to behave better. At the end, my dad says, do you have something to say for yourself? I said, read the full note. He read the note. He looked back at me. Oh, my bad. My bad? Yo, man, I need an apology. This wasn't a time you call social services and all that stuff that kids can do today, man, but I'm getting some kind of way right now talking about it, right? My bad? I was like, nah, man, we need to do better than that. It's like, yeah. He said, you probably did something else I didn't know about, so we'll just put that on your credit.
On your credit.
Put that on your credit account.
Yeah.
I was like, holy
I'm sure he forgot about that on
shit.
credit, too.
If you ask him today.
No, but the next time you got out of line, you got another one.
Yeah, probably.
He didn't
so.
give it.
I don't remember. But I'm telling you, he'd be overreacting. And that's one of the things that is like a hallmark of my dad in particular, is he strikes first, asks questions later. And I've seen, my dad is on the aggressive side. I've seen him before guns and all that stuff. Like, he was legitimate old school fisticuffs.
Let's take a quick break. As a Black professional, I faced many challenges inherent to contemporary America. I had to fight to secure my place and fulfill my dreams. Underestimated, a CEO's unlikely path to success is my story. Whether you are a young person of color, a rising leader in your organization, or someone who may feel a little bit lost, there is a path forward that is built on grit, determination, perseverance, and drive. I've dedicated my career to developing my leadership skills and then coaching others towards success. In Underestimated, you can follow my unique path, uncovering business and life lessons that can help anyone realize their dreams. You can order Underestimated wherever books are sold and find more information at donaldthompson.com. Now, back to the show.
And on the flip side, the positive is I didn't drink alcohol. We're having some bourbon here today. I didn't drink alcohol when I was 40 years old. And people are like, oh, man, you're lying. You're like, nah. My dad had a couple rules. Be home by midnight. This was in high school, and as I said, be home by midnight. He said, no drinking and driving, and keep your grades above a B. He said, if you want to be an A student, that's up to you, but you can do above a B. That's like, I don't want to hear about anything less than that. If you do these 3 things, me and you are good. Home by 12, because nothing good happens for young people after midnight.
True.
Nothing good. You should have all your fun, be home by midnight. No drinking and driving, no alcohol in your car, and then keep your grades up. And people were like, no, you got to drink. I was like, nah, peer pressure is not stronger than my dad. And I just wasn't interested in being on the wrong side of that guy.
So tell me what happened. I know there was an infamous incident whenever you first got one of your teenage cars that a kid happened to light up a cigarette.
Yeah, we were in Greenville, North Carolina. Memorial Boulevard is a pretty good-sized strip in Greenville. And I don't remember the guy's name. It was a long time ago. But I remember him lighting up a cigarette, and I pulled on the side of the road. I said, you got to get out of my car. And he was like, what are you talking about? I said, you got to get out of my car. My dad only has a couple of rules, and smoking and drinking in the car is one of them. You got to get out. He was like, man, you're crazy. Man, quit playing. I was like, I don't think you understand. We discussed this. You still lit up in my car. I'm not walking, but you are. You got to get out of my car. Because like I knew that associates came and went, right? I had a handful of close friends, but I wasn't willing to let anyone mess up my role. My parents worked hard. They were middle class at that point. I knew when they were struggling before that. And for me to have a car that I could drive and all I had to do is work and keep gas up. I helped out with a little bit of the insurance because I would work part-time and stuff like that. I just knew it was a blessing. So if I had clear rules, I wasn't interested in your reasons why I was breaking those rules. And so, yeah, I put them out.
Yeah. In the 80s, we were so... I remember, your car was your one place to like be yourself, get out from under people's thumb, and so scared about the police and I'm a white guy. I mean, so for listeners out there, I'm a white guy. And so as a black kid, you've got extra problems.
Yep.
Just being in a car that I never had to, and we were scared shitless.
And
about cops.
And let alone do anything that you shouldn't have been doing at a young age. And I was very fortunate as a youngster in the things that my parents provided for me. And I'll tell a story that's different than this, but it's why I respect my dad and my mom so much. And this was in Pittsburgh, and this was not the time where he was a big shot coach at Pittsburgh. This is when they got fired. Because see, in big time college athletics, right, you're a superstar, people are buying you dinner, and you have the wrong number of losses in wins and losses, they get those things inverted, right? You get fired.
Yep.
And you always get fired around Christmas. Once you think about it, like you always get fired around Christmas. And so my dad lost his job at the University of Pittsburgh. They let him go and let a couple other folks go. Like, it was not great. And, names in the papers, you got to go to school. You got to finish up school after your dad gets fired. Like, it's not, there's some not cool parts of this. But anyway, I knew during that period of time, I knew he was a great coach. I knew he was going to land on his feet. We'd figure something out, all that. I wasn't scared about that. But I knew that Christmas was going to be light. And I got it. I mean, like, I had prepared myself. I knew it was going to be light because...
Not quite Charlie Brown Christmas, but not bountiful.
That's right.
Bountiful and love. Yeah. And that's about it.
That's right. It was going to be light. It was going to be like Christmas. You know what I mean? And I remember before they got fired, kind of talking about what I wanted for Christmas, stuff like that. And it was this boom box, right? And if you remember the time when I'm a young kid, man, the rap game was coming up, right? And you got a boom box with a dual cassette.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big thing, right? So you got the cassette and you could make your own mixtapes and stuff. Like, this was real stuff. And then it had the hydraulic eject.
Yep.
And you hit the eject button now, it was smooth. It didn't just pop out,
make a noise.
It was smooth.
Like a little whisper.
Like a whisper. and then the one I wanted had the detachable speakers. So now if I'm carrying the boom boxes all together, one unit. But if it's in my room, I put one on the dresser. I put 2 speakers on the side. Like, this is what I wanted for Christmas, right? And so when he got fired, I knew my boombox was in jeopardy, right? And I was good with that.
Your boombox went with Pitt's 6 and 7 record.
Yeah, exactly right. I was good with that, right? I was good with that. That boombox still appeared under the tree. And I knew it wasn't Santa Claus that got me that. And I knew that extra little bit that my mom and dad had to do for that thing that I wanted, that they wanted to give me that little piece of joy. Those are things that I never forgot. It was not about that material thing. I don't know what they didn't do to give me that smile on Christmas. I don't know. But I know that's the kind of parents that I had, and that's why I have privilege. People talk about white privilege and this, that, and the other, and I don't really think about it like that. I think we all have privilege, which creates responsibility that we have. I'm different than most, not better than anyone else, I'm different than most in that I understand, appreciate, and am thankful for my privilege. I have some things that were against me. I'm a black man in America. There's some shit that comes with that.
What you would? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, 7 times blue lights behind me, sure. But there are things that were done for me by my parents, by people that came before me that I try not to forget as I work through and walk through, this thing that we call life.
Thanks for joining us this week on High Octane Leadership. I hope that you enjoyed those stories, and if you'd like more, check out Underestimated, a CEO's Unlikely Path to Success. You can get that wherever books are sold. We really appreciate you listening. If you'd like more information about Don, you can always go to his website, donaldthompson.com, or connect with him on LinkedIn. Until next time, have fun.